Wablo ya doze wawa. Woko chibao de ya doze wawa. Arwada. Doze wawa. Ade ya doze wawa. Doze wawa. Ade ya doze wawa dara. Mao. Adoze wawa beno. De ya doze wawa. Ade ya doze wawa. Ade oji one dara. Ade denone. Ndolowo. The man who almost had one berry. Someone never wanted to have an idea. Do they was on that? Someone will never know. Well, that's not good. No power, we're going to you. I dare do the one. I do the one. I dare do the one. I dare do the one. I dare do the one. I know. I don't know. Lucy. Hello. Wablo. No one go chipa. You may go there, you will. No go point no to go. Ma to the wow. Come on, the family. Ma to the wow. Then what that again? Mamma was a million. Yeah, prima. How no? No one wants to have bracket. What would you do? When you know one more come loyalty. Yeah. I just say one word. No. Don't do. I run the run again. See up well. I don't pass the bomb. But you let someone the man of the mower. I don't say one. I don't say one. I don't say one. I don't say one. Ah, sister. Tina. Where money? Super and power. If my daughter back. And then don't want we wear. Ah, mother. Oh, Tina. Let's not do it. Do. No, I don't say one. Ma don't say one. Mama. I don't say one. I know I did it. I did it. What you don't man, that road. Shut up, Wablo. Dynamo, to Pablo, which you to Pablo, who will go to you. Don't know which you did not do. Of a few, I do the one. I do the one. I did. Take up my way. I'm going to be on it. I dare do the one. I know I did. I dare go do it. My know I do. I dare do the one. Don't have brass at the point. No more no. When I would have done, I'm going to move. Now. My boss, I go. I do the one. And you, I say you, my way, I say you, over. My boy, you can run. We have not go. Tanu. Okubana Biblia. Una Iowa. Una Timothy. Arosuna Mokwa Governor Mesoria Dibora Bra Tina Money Manu Samus go your Manu say well Ah, sister. I do the one. Yes, what? I do the one. I do the one. I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
Download your favorite song at originalhits.com.
Our people say the thing like a game will stop on your toes. When the season will be good, that on the eve will know. Kakobima, Kakoma Kudabu. I thought our rescue, but I can't attend to excuse. Love, the rescue mission, finitany to excuse mission. Love, ideas deliverable, no car will eat in the mud. Love, for Alpha, only access recovery team. Love, heavy sensory, my baby made mistake. Wale konjo de la wala, le mene fini poti o etikata. Asele tiya yo na believe, but now not your zine o. We want to grow, le mene ke o don follow. Kujuku, kujuku, kujuku. Ajale le o, si o le o. Ajale le o. The rescue mission, finitany to excuse mission. Ideas deliverable, no car will eat in the mud.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening. Voices Sinoe is here again with another brand new edition of the program Sinoe County Flagship program. Voices Sinoe coming to you from these United States, from the state of Maryland. And that's why we are coming to you today. We're going to have a wonderful, or if you like, we have a wonderful guest on the platform this afternoon. So as you join the show, as usual, we'll ask your indulgence to make sure that you share the program with your friends. Also, make sure to join our YouTube page. Voice of Sinoe is our YouTube page. You can also subscribe to that. We have many videos on that show. All right, so shortly we'll be with you on the screen to have a conversation with our experienced nurse, family nurse practitioner, Porleah Krah is our special guest this afternoon. And so don't go away. We will be right back.
Only access recovery team. Heavy sensory, my baby made mistake. Somebody help me, I talk it. Let me see it, get talking. But I mean, come me talking. So you can get me for talking. And I be out, we know that. Or you making it harder.
Yeah, so today on the platform, we are transitioning from politics, from the ups and downs, the perpetual corruption in Liberia. We are kind of taking a detour from all of that today. And our focus is the health area. You know, that's one of the areas that people, for some reason, they don't pay close attention. And so on the show today, we're going to be talking about stroke and diabetes. We're going to be talking about HIV and AIDS. You know, this lady that we have that is coming today, or that is our guest today, this is something that she knows a lot about. She's a nurse practitioner. She's been practicing in the U.S. state of Delaware for a long time. And so don't go away. Porleah Krah is our special guest this afternoon, and we'll be right back with Patrick Bolu and my host apologies.
I told the people say he was sleeping. All in I believe he was sleeping. See you right now, you sleeping. See my people regretting. But why you didn't you regret? I will say the truth when you hear you can't get me. The rescue mission, finitany to excuse mission. Ideas deliverable, no car will eat in the mud. For Alpha, only access recovery team. Heavy sensory.
Yeah, so guys, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, I going down in Pennsylvania. You got to be in Pennsylvania. My man Jerry Massacre and his beautiful wife, and they're having a baby. it's a christening setup ceremony. And I gotta look at the flyer again to know exactly the right nomenclature of the program. But they're going to be celebrating a new baby, so make sure you be in Pennsylvania this weekend. I will be there. Dark Side, Porleah Esoteric will be there with the First Lady Bolu Freeman to celebrate with our friends, and I'm a good brother. And so the man is obeying the biblical command: go in the word and propagate. We'll be right back. Special guest at Porleah Krah is our special.
Download your favorite song at originalhits.com.
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com. I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
Download your favorite song at originalhits.com.
Our people say the thing like a game, you will stop on your toes. When the season will be good, up on the eve, you will know. Kakobima, Kakoma Kudapo. I thought our rescue, but I can't attend to excuse. Love, the rescue mission, Piniteni to excuse mission. Love,
Yeah, today we are not making a mistake. We are not making a mistake. We are bringing somebody who is medically informed, who is medically educated. I mean, she is coming to explain what causes, for example, diabetes, what causes stroke, what is HIV, what is AIDS. What are the etiologies of those things? How can we prevent them? As a matter of fact, do they have cures and those different things? So that's what our guest, Porleah Krah, family nurse or practitioner, would be elucidating, or if you like, expatiating on today on the show. And so those that are following the show right now, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. And please make sure to share the show on your page or with your friends. I see my man Jerry Massacre following the show right now. We want to say thanks for following us. I see my man Pastor. I'm a man, that man of God. So we have to be very careful when we're addressing these people. The man of God, that's Mr. Morris Amanan, is following a pastor. I should put a right title there too. So start tripping exoteric. So Pastor, the Right Reverend Pastor Morris Amanan is following the show. We want to say thank you so much for following us. We have to find time again and to come and do some Bible study on the show. The last program we had was wonderful. Yes, so, but before I do that, I have to consult my wife first to give me the approval whether we can have biblical discussion. All right. But again, Porleah is going to be with us shortly. We are looking backstage, and she should be shortly. to continue with the program here. Yeah, but in the meantime, let me give you some little things that I'm following that are trending currently. Let's see, Sinoe County. My reporters will join so that they can give an update. Yes, but with respect to the Sapo community in Liberia, they have a presidential elections coming up. The president, George Goddard, rescheduled the election, even though there was an election held a while ago, and he was declared the winner. But it looks that some people are agitating, and George Goddard being somebody who is peaceful, who believes in unity, he says, you know what? So since these people are lamenting, I beat them, and they won't also go to the ballot box again to try and see who the people won. Why not? And so Mr. George Goddard rescheduled another election here. So we got the communication. Let me share that communication with you. I think I like Mr. Goddard's approach here. Let's see. Let me read that communication. We're just killing time right now, waiting for our guest to join us. Let me, maybe I can show my beautiful face as well, so that you can see. Oh, my wife said, should I use that adjective beautiful? You know, so my handsome face. All right. So I got to pay attention before I get chastised, you know. Yeah, by the grammarian I got in this house. All right. So let me see. Where is my communication? Right here. While we are warming up, let me do this as a warm up for us. And I will do this as well and say, welcome to Voice of Sinoe, Esoteric here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to Sinoe County premier platform, online platform, Voice of Sinoe in the diaspora, the show that covers Sinoe County in its totality. Anything that you want to know about Sinoe County this year, you have to count. You come over here and you will get everything from the FSN, people that are on the ground, reporters, they give you everything. So, but right now, again, our special guest is this lady right here. Let me do what I can. Let me put myself in a presentation more, and then I will be back. Let's see. Nah, I don't want that. Let's see. Did I do that? Give me a second, guys. All right, guys. Sorry for that technical glitch over there. Click the wrong thing. All right, so let me do this quickly here. Let me do a little screen sharing so that I can, while I'm advertising my guests. Let's see. Let me go back and I'll do my entertainment. While I do that, I'll be right back. Don't go away. I will be right with you. Let me get this settled.
Somebody help me, I talking. Let me not see it, get talking. But I mean, come me talking. So you can get me for talking. And I be out, we know that. Or you making it harder. I told the people say you was sleeping. All in I believe you was sleeping. See you right now, you sleepy. See my people regretting. Why you didn't you regret? I will say that you ain't here, you can't get up now. The rescue mission, Minitini, to excuse mission. Up now, right there's the deliverable. No car will issue the mud. Up now, for half hour, the access recovery team. Up now, heavy sense of real. My baby made mistake. Up now.
Download your favorite song at
Vibes with originalhits.com.
All right, guys. All right. Again, welcome. The voice is Sinoe. We're esoteric here. We are coming to you from the state of Maryland, these United States of America. My contributor Patrick is settling down backstage. So once Patrick is situated, we want to bring on to get our conversation rolling here while we are waiting for our guests to join us. Let's see. Let's see here. I want to bring that and that screen sharing for now. And I will bring this down so I can bring my man Patrick here quickly. Let's see. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to bring my wonderful contributor Patrick Bolu to join me here. Mr. Bolu, hey, great man. How you doing, Patrick?
Oh yeah, Esoteric.
Yes, sir. How you doing? How's Liberia?
Yeah, man, it's good to interface today again and to be back on the People's Premier platform. Yeah, taking on a very distinguished guest today. I'm happy to be back, and yes, we are here prepared to give the people what they deserve and what they really want to hear. Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Thank you. How's Liberia? How's Morovia? What's trending, man? What's going on?
Oh yeah, Monrovia is hot.
Yeah, you're breaking in right now. It's internet is Liberia. So once he is back, we'll kind of bring him back. Yeah, he's glitching up right now. Let's see. I can kick him. You'll come back on. All right, guys. So, like I was saying, I wanted to quickly go through this right here. The training, the development from Liberia, the Sapo Community Day, the presidential elections is coming up. George Gate set up a team. He sent a communication out for a new election to be set up because an election was held, and some members of the organization, they were unpleased, even though he did nothing wrong. A venue was set up, the information was disseminated to all and sundry. But when it was time for election, the guy, every community has rabble rousers and agitators. They will always, protest, even if the system of the process is transparent and fair. And so George Gate set up the venue, and these rabble rousers, they went and hired some Zogos. And so Mr. Gate, being the man of peace and who has the responsibility to protect lives and property, that's the first obligation of the leader. And so when he got that intelligent information and said, Mr. God, the people called him and said, sir, the venue that you are going to have, the election is compromised, so you got to reconsider, or else somebody's going to get hurt, because we are getting intelligent information that the disenchanted elements have hired some Zogos, and also the guys who come here and cause some chaos. And so based on that information, the president, or if you like, the chairman of the Sapo Development Organization in Liberia, which is abbreviated as SADO, George Gate changed the venue of the election to the University of Liberia. you know, because the University of Liberia is closer to the Capitol building, and you got all those different ministries around there. And so that area is considered safe, you know. But the election was held, however, and the people that hired Zogos to go and sabotage the election, they were not successful, and therefore, when Mr. Garte was declared as winner, the people start agitating. They're on Facebook and disparaging, berating, and castigating, and all the different adjectives. And they have been throwing, they're going around. They are very good at running propaganda and I mean, running clandestine campaigns and stuff like that. So they, you know, our people, especially those that are in the U.S., they I mean, they kind of have some authority here, you know, so because financially they are helping people out there. And then so the people tend to listen to them. So as a consequence, the guys, they literally divided the community. It was getting to that point. And so Judge got it taught to reschedule the election, and so that those that are not certified to put on a candidate and see whether they can beat him. And so yesterday, Mr. Garte sent out this communication, my fellow Sabo people. I bring you greetings over the course of the past 5 months. SADO, our cherished organization, has been experiencing various instances of discontent, mainly arising from the elections of May 2024. So that in May, they had the election. In view of the above, and as chairman, it is my primary responsibility to ensure that our people remain united and peaceful. I told you the man is a peaceful man, right? George Gatti is not a chaotic man. He does not believe in chaos. So he said, in view of the above, and as chairman, it is my primary responsibility to ensure that our people remain united and peaceful. To achieve this objective, I am pleased to announce a new round of elections scheduled for the 21st December 2024 and the induction of the newly elected leaders during the second week of January 2025. So Mr. Gatti went on, or the chairman wanted to say it, in the next few days, an independent elections commission will be appointed to lead our community to free and fair elections. It has been a great honor serving our people. I want to thank all of you for the support and cooperation you are according us through our tenure. Let us work together to ensure that SADO remains vibrant and united. Together, we can achieve great things for the well-being of our people and community. All right, so this was the statement from George Gatti. Thank you, and God bless us all. All right, George Gatti. All right, so this is the statement from Mr. Gatti. I mean, when you analyze it, other people say he resigned, and other people say no, he did not resign. And I don't see that as resignation. You know, being a conduit of evidential information. When we got this communication, we reached out to Mr. Gatti and said, sir, what is obtaining? Did you resign? And Mr. Gatti said, no, I did not. I just rescheduled election so that people that felt disenfranchised, they'll be able to come to the ballot box, the democratic process, and see whether they can subjugate me democratically. You know, so I did not resign. I just set a new date. You know, so, but, you know, other people are jubilating. I'm told that, oh, you know, we toppled the man, and the man kowtowed to our whims and caprices. And no, the man is not kowtowing. He's not genuflecting to the whims and caprices of anybody. When you read the communication from George Gatti, he said his primary concern is the unity and peacefulness of the community. You see, that should be primary. That should be our goal, the unity of the people. Because the cliche is united we stand, divided we fall, right? Yeah. So we fall when we are divided. so Abraham Lincoln also told us a house divided against itself cannot stand, right? So George got to understanding this basic concept. He said, you know what, I will not allow these agitators and these people that are just on the verge 24/7, their campaign is to divide the people. I'm not going to allow them to do that. I'm going to allow them to go to the ballot box so that they can test their strength. They see what it takes to beat me, to relegate me democratically. And so George Gatti did the right thing to bring the guys back to the drawing board. He's not greedy for power. This is a pro bono service, so why fight? So let's see what the God we are hearing giving on the level-headedness of George Gatti and giving the sagacity he has brought to leadership. The spokesperson of the elders and the ancestors, we want to give our relevant support, and so that he will maintain authority and make sure that he continues to do what he's doing for our people. Because, right now, George Gatti, the first time in history of SADO, which has been around for a long, long time, the organization does not have a hall in Liberia. And this is something that George Gatti wants to do. So he has been generating resources to see what he can build a state-of-the-art hall. Our brothers and sisters, they told us, the other group, they said they're going to build a hall for us, and they went to Liberia, they danced, they broke ground. We can't see anything going on in Liberia. So this same old thing, give our people rhetoric and sweet talk, and they kill cow and goat and sheep, and the people dance, no cat, I said, no cat, no dog, only down the trunk talk about that stuff, so we want to see how that election plays out in Liberia. Is in December. George Gatti communication said. All right, so we are looking up to that. Also in the U.S., the presidential election is also coming up pretty soon. President Francois Clamaire's tenure is coming to an end, and we have some people that are stepping up to the plate that want to lead the community. So we are hearing some names. They are not confirmed yet. Yeah, so we are told that the Grand Bodio is coming, to challenge Mr. William Marlin, who is the incumbent vice president. I don't know whether the Bodio can make it with William Marlin. William Marlin is the incumbent. He let Donald Trump come in right now to challenge Kamala Harris, who is the vice president of the country. So let's see. It'll be an interesting election. We'll be here to cover all of that. William Marlin is a very nice guy, and so is the Grand Bodio of the Sapo land. Yeah. Let's see what the Grand Bodio will abate Mr. William Marlin, the vice president. With that being said, my guest is backstage now, and so I'm happy that she finally made it through. People are very basic out here. A lot of things. She's a professional as well, so maybe she would cater into her clients. I don't know what jargon they use in that medical arena. When she gets there, she will explain to me. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to bring on my special guest for today, Madam or Mistress Porleah Krah. Yeah, co-host. Your co-host, right?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Loud and clear. You're audible. How you doing?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm superb. I'm happy to see you back here on the show. It's been a long time.
Good. I'm glad to be back.
Okay. How is Delaware?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It was kind of cloudy this morning, but the sun is coming up now, so the weather is good.
Okay. Family, everybody's doing good?
We're good.
Okay. Yeah, we say over here, we can say 10-4. Everything's okay. We say 10-4. All right. So wonderful again. We are like 20 minutes into the program. You gave me a time frame, so I want to respect that. So next time I call you, you'll be happy. That's how you put it in there. Eat my time, but even though the guests gonna exhaust a little bit of my time, but that's fine. I give you that latitude. We have
Okay,
a
let me
subject
see if I can
to.
share it.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, okay. Yes, so
I
Porleah,
wanted to
welcome
see if I
again.
could share it.
Okay.
Thank you. For having me. You wanted me to go into introduction. I was trying to share this show
Uh-huh.
on my page, but I guess we'll get started. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here once more. I just want to say thank you to my former boss for inviting me back on the show to, just give one or two words on, some health issues. And we'll all, I guess, learn as we go. Learning never stops, even for myself. So I'm glad to be here. To all the panelists that are on, hi, and thank you guys for having me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Krah. The guys will be joining me. Patrick were here with me. You know, they are coming from Liberia, so they always have technical issues. So hopefully Patrick will come back, or the other guys will join us later. Yeah, but before we will get into what we are here for, maybe the people want to know who my guest is, you know, her background, what authority does she have to come and discuss these health issues that she wants to discuss today. So take up, I mean, get us from the darkness if you want to,
Absolutely,
if you don't mind
absolutely.
me putting it
So,
that way.
oh, all right. My name formally is Porleah Krah, and I've been working in health field for over 14 years. First as an RN, and then now as a family nurse practitioner. And so I've been doing this for some time now, and I love what I do.
All right, nice. So, I mean, maybe I didn't go to school, so I want you to kind of break some of these things. RN, what is that?
Is there any way you can put your volume up a little bit, or is
Oh,
it
I'm
my
on
my
Mac.
computer?
Yeah, apparently because I'm on Max. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you hearing me now?
What was that again? What'd you say?
No, I said some of those abbreviations in the RN, FNP.
Oh,
No
right.
worries.
Well, I mean, RN, registered nurse,
Okay.
and FMP, which is a family nurse practitioner.
Okay.
So, I'm a provider. We wouldn't say I would not say a doctor, but I can tell you that I prescribe and assess patients and treat patients on a daily. So yeah.
So you are now a doctor. So what is your limitation though compared to a doctor?
So I mean, first of all, I will say the credential, right? Because I went
Okay.
to as a family nurse practitioner, I went to get my master's for 2 years to become a nurse practitioner. But on the other hand, for a doctor, you have to go to residency and you have to do so many more years of schooling.
Okay.
Um, and so, for the most part,
So, but in terms of like job description, like what is it that you can
so
do? Uh, I mean, compared to doctor, what is it that a doctor can do that you cannot do?
I mean, right now in a lot of in other states, we have to collaborate with MDs to practice. In Delaware, nurse practitioner, we are autonomous. They gave us that right to be able to practice. So for the most part, you can
Yeah, but for some reason you are delaying from your end. Your device is glitching up.
hello.
Come again. Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, so as a family nurse practitioner, we are limited pretty much with Medicare, with the billing when it comes to the billing. But I don't see honestly much difference besides the schooling. because for a primary care physician, when you come in to see them, I mean, they assess you, treat you, write your prescriptions, and those are the same things we do. But we are limited because we don't have, like I said, we do not have the credentials again. So even with payments with Medicare, we are paid differently. Like we reimburse differently because we are nurse practitioner. But for the most part, we do pretty much almost everything, MD primary care physician will do, because we're practicing independently for the most part in Delaware. Now in Pennsylvania and other states, nurse practitioners do not have the right to practice independently. You need an MD to collaborate with.
Okay.
But for Delaware, they allow us to practice. So um, for the most part, I really don't see much difference. Besides
The pay grade too. I mean, do you guys get paid the
pay,
same?
it's not the same. That's what I'm saying. The pay grade, and mostly because of the schooling,
Okay.
and the credentials that they have,
Okay.
we don't get paid the same.
Nice. Okay. Okay. All right. So besides talking about the side issue, thank you so much. Let's get to some of the things that we want to talk about today. Again, guys, if you're joining us, my special guest is Porleah Krah. Yeah, she's my special guest today. And we're about to talk on health issues. So if you get a pen and pencil, you can take notes, and that's what we can go into it. So Porleah, let's start with this big one. I mean, HIV and AIDS and stroke. I mean, you can go into it. It's all yours. Yeah, for some reason your service is delaying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing a delay from you.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
have. Yeah, the internet is pretty good. Alias, I'm hearing you very well. It's just that you're glitching off on your end. Are you there?
Okay, I can hear you fine now. So should I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, please.
So we're going to start with HIV and AIDS. That's one of the topics that I wanted to speak on. I know HIV and AIDS is a taboo subject. It's a topic or illness that a lot of people don't want to talk about, or they're embarrassed to talk about. But we have to talk about it, and we have to know about it so we can know how to handle it when we encounter it in our lives or with our family members and all of that. So HIV, the virus, is just it's a virus that will attack your immune system. So HIV stands for immunodeficiency virus. So the HIV is going to affect your immune system, the virus. Just because you have the virus, it doesn't just turn into AIDS right away. So we have HIV and AIDS. So once the virus attacks your immune system, and it starts to damage it gradually, and that could take years for that to happen. So ways that we will get HIV and AIDS, that could be through sexual intercourse, because it is a STDs, and that you can get that through sexual intercourse from your partner. You can also get that through using needles, like with drug user. For those people who use drug, when they're sharing needles for one another, they can contact the virus. And also mothers that are not treated, if they have the virus and they're not being treated, they can pass it on to their children. So the one thing I want to emphasize is, yes, HIV can be passed on through sex, but that's not the only way it can be passed on. So people shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed to get tested. So the main thing here is for us to get tested, and these are some of the ways you can get HIV. And as I'm going, if you have a question, maybe you can just
Yeah, definitely, I'll do that
as we go. And so some of the signs and symptoms when you get the virus, like when you first contract the virus, sometimes some people will get symptoms, other people won't. But some of the symptoms in the first stages, you can get fevers, you can get muscle and joint aches and rash, sore. It's so many symptoms, like flu-like symptoms. Some people get fever, cold. They can have some weight loss, cough, and all of that in the beginning. And then the symptoms last for like 2 to maybe 4 weeks, and then they subside. And that the second stage, the virus can just be in your body for years. All right. So the main takeaway from here is for people to get tested, because while the virus is being dormant in your body, once you get tested and you know that you have HIV, the virus, you can get treatment. Thank God, HIV is not a death sentence like it used to be. Now they got a lot of good treatments that they give people, and they're able to live longer, healthy lives with the virus, especially in the United States. And I've heard in even in third world countries, in Liberia and other countries in Africa, they have NGOs that are there and treating people with medications to get treating them. So it's a good thing for us to get tested and start treatment, because that way you can go on for a long time without getting sick.
Okay, so let me come in with some little follow-up questions. So you're talking about testing and stuff like that. Are you hearing me very well?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, so what are some of the locations we can go, where you can go to get tested? Can you do it yourself, or you need a medical professional to do that?
So you need to go to a health clinic, of your choice. Like you can do it. I wouldn't. Now they have this rapid ACE testing that they have, like in the developed world, but it is a good idea to go and get a blood test, to go to a clinic and they draw your blood and test it. That way it is more accurate.
Okay. So, but Malakra, the first what I want you to do, if you have information on that, I mean, where does it come from? Before it came to human being. I mean, do you know the history of it?
Well, honestly, to be honest, I didn't go back into the origin of it, if it came from animals or it came, there are a lot of things that we heard before. So, but I just know that I'm just not sure, honestly, where it came from to start hitting humans back in those days when they started. Just like now, we don't even know where the COVID virus started from, or where it came from. Or maybe some people know, but I don't.
All right, that's fine. That's why I say if you know, that's fine. If you don't, that's pretty fine. So you talk about the symptoms. It gives you fever, rash, cold, and those things. But they are kind of a little confusing though, because if you have flu, you got similar symptoms and stuff like that. So how do you distinguish that though from a regular flu and stuff like that?
That's a good question, because some of the symptoms they are symptoms that we have all the time, every day, with different things. But some of the main symptoms, though, maybe I wasn't clear enough. If you're having sore throat with some mouth sores, you're having mouth sores, you're having lymph nodes, glands that are swollen, especially in the neck. So sometimes we have swollen lymph nodes, and that tells us that there's a sign of infection. And because a lot of these symptoms are so similar to other ailments, it's a good idea, especially if you know you're into a relationship where you're not protecting yourself sexually, or for those people who use drugs and they are sharing needles. Then if you start having symptoms, it's just good to get tested for the most part. Especially now, even if you meet a new partner, it's a good idea for both of you to get tested and then start. But either way, you still don't know what, people are doing. So it's a good idea to just get checked on a regular, especially if you get sick. And some of these symptoms, they come, especially if you're getting a fever that doesn't go away. It comes and stay even when you're taking medicine, it doesn't go away. And maybe they have tested you for other things like the flu and COVID and strep and everything else, and everything is negative, but you're still getting ill. You're losing weight that you didn't plan for. Like, you're not on any diet, you're not doing any exercises, but you're losing weight significantly. Then you want to get tested for HIV.
Okay, so let's say for a couple, right? Let's say they went for a test and one person is tested positive. I mean, can they still, engage into sexual activities, or what's the deal when something like that happens?
Absolutely. So I'm glad you asked that question. That was one of the things that I was going to speak to, but we're going to speak to it now. So when one person have HIV, so nowadays they have a lot of medications that can help couples. So the one person who is infected cannot infect the other person. So they have this medication. They have exposure medication, which is like PrEP, 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 pre-exposure.
Okay.
So you can take those medications, and your risk for contacting the disease from your partner is very, very low, right? And even for post, say after you get infected and your partner had it, there are also medications that you can take within. You got to make sure you take it within 72 hours, I want to say. And that medication is like for 1 month, and you can take that and still be okay. So years back, what couples do is they go and then, for instance, if your husband had, the virus, the wife takes medication, right? So she doesn't get it, but then she has to take that medication, I guess, for the rest of her life, or as long as she's with this person. And also the man or the person who has the disease can also, once they're being treated and they're viral load. So I want to talk about viral load. Viral load, we all have a viral load in us. It's like the normal is 500 to like 1,200. So pretty much your, go back to that, your white blood count, the core cell, we all have that CD4 count of at least 500 to 1,200. Now, if your partner have the virus and he's taking treatment, it's going to keep his CD4 up, because the CD4 is what the virus destroys. So if the person is taking their treatment and their CD4 remains in a normal range, the possibility of them passing it on to somebody else is also very slim. So I've met couples that one person have the the virus and the other person doesn't, and the wife is taking the medication on a regular, and the husband is also taking the medication, so that way she doesn't even get it. So you don't have to leave your partner because they told you. And that's some of the reason why people are shying away from telling their partners if they get tested and they're positive. They don't want to tell anyone, or including their partner, because they're afraid that maybe this person is going to leave them, or afraid of it being out there. But you both can be together and the other person cannot get it once they continue to take the medications.
So, but isn't it a good idea though? Because if somebody has it, the couple, and one person has it, does it still make sense for the other person who doesn't have it to stay around? Will you advise that? Yeah, our device is kind of collision of, yeah.
You say if it's a good idea?
Yeah. Would you advise that? If you have two persons together, I know it breaks a family. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was asking, is it a good idea when people are together, couple, and then one person is diagnosed to be positive? Does it make sense for them to stay together? Would you advise that? If so, why? Because you
Well,
said,
I mean,
I mean,
I
even
don't know people. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we don't know people's family dynamics, right? And like I said, people can get the virus from different means. Now, if you're convinced that your husband got it through maybe infidelity or with somebody else, I mean, that's something that you're going to work on as a couple. If you're going to forgive him for stepping out or not. But people have been together for many, many years, and for some reason, they're still in love with their partner, but we don't want to say, oh, because they're diagnosed, they should just separate. Now, I mean, it's okay if you guys come to that conclusion or you don't want to stay, like you don't have to stay, but they just have the medications for people who still want to be with their partners and afraid of getting the disease. Now, people can get in other way. And even another thing that I didn't mention, there are some people now in the United States, when we get blood transfusion, I mean, the blood is screened very well. And so there's not a problem. Well, I shouldn't say at all, but maybe very little chance of people getting it through blood transfusion. But what about third world country or the country that we're in? And if they're giving people transfusion, you can get it from that if they give you a blood that was already infected, if they didn't screen it well. So, if you trust your wife or trust your partner and maybe they were in that situation and got it, would you want to leave them because now they're positive?
I mean, okay. So I follow you, right? So, but Porleah, let's do this before you come up. I wanted to bring my co-host there. He going back and forth. Yeah. Patrick, are you good? All right. Let me bring Patrick on here. He just joining us. Patrick. Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you now.
Okay, all right. So Porleah, is there a way you can adjust the camera a little bit so you can be very low?
Say that again.
Is there a way you can adjust your camera a little bit? You're very low, so you can be
I'm
up a
low,
little
right?
bit.
Okay.
There you go.
How's
Perfect.
that?
That's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. So, by the way, Patrick is as a contributor on the show. He's joining us from Morovia. Patrick, this is our
Yeah.
guest, Porleah Krah, nurse, family nurse practitioner. She's our guest today and educating us on we living our politics business today. So she giving us an education of how to be safe and stuff like that. So, Porleah, the next question I have was
Hello, Patrick. It's nice
Patrick,
to meet
anyway, you want to greet her? Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah. So before you continue quickly, let me say welcome to our distinguished guest. It's an honor to share a platform with a very distinguished personality. I mean, a professional family nurse, practitioner. I mean, I'm very proud of her accomplishment. She commands so much respect, integrity, and excellence. And I think the work she does in her services to our community in the global stage, I mean, they are highly commendable. And I want to really applaud her for going into nursing and making an impact on the world. I'm honored to be on the platform today to quiz her and journalistically as to what she's doing and how she's making real impact from her education and profession. Thank you, Doug. I'm happy to be back here today.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so Porleah, so the question we're talking about family and a couple together, and one person has it. Should the person leave? And you said it depends on the couple what they're going to agree on. So, do we have cure for AIDS?
No, not no cure, no new cure up to date.
Okay, so the current medication is just what to just increase your longevity.
the current medication is to prevent you from going into a full-blown AIDS and just to keep your CD4 count in a normal range. Because if it goes below 200, then that's considered AIDS. And then when your CD4 count go that low, you start to get more severe symptoms and start developing other diseases that wouldn't ordinarily kill you, that like pneumonia and different type of cancers and different things. So those medications are there to, I will say yes, to keep you longer, healthier, but there is no like cure to say it's going altogether. Because if you stop taking the medication, you're going to get sick.
Okay. Patrick, do you have question out for her so far? Yeah, he's Patrick. Are you there?
I can hear you.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Okay, yeah. So thank you again. I'm honored to be on the platform and sharing it with such a high-profile personality. But my question from your initial questions: why tropical diseases become recurrent? Yeah, you get sick, you are treated, and you sort of think going away for good. And I mean, it keeps happening, it keeps recurring. A lot from one patient to the other. Why do these type of diseases really become recurrent?
So for like we said, we were talking about AIDS and other diseases. Like if you're not getting treatment, then you will be having recurrent symptoms or recurrent diseases and the spread of diseases too. So we talk about how disease like HIV spread through sexual intercourse. So maybe some of the prevention is we try to use protection. It'll be ideal, use protection with one partner, but then on the other hand, sometimes couples want to have children, so they're going to, not use protection. But diseases are, if you're saying a person gets sick and it goes away and it comes back, then maybe if it's a disease that don't have a cure, you just have to continue taking treatment so you don't keep getting exacerbations, like, so the illness don't keep flaring up all the time. So you just have to maintain treatment and, healthy lifestyle, your diet, you try to eat healthy, use protection, stay away from heavy drinking, smoking, that kind of thing. So if we are living healthy, that helps a lot to keep diseases away from us.
Patrick, you got to follow up?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So that answers it well from your professional standpoint. So like diabetes, HIV AIDS, hypertension, and other diseases that you are specialized in, the prevalence is so high. Is it that these diseases too, they are so resistant, to treatment, that they just had an increase?
I wouldn't say they are resistant to treatment. Well, I think for the most part, most of it is lifestyle. It's how we're living. So if you have, and also there are some diseases that are just genetic. For instance, hypertension, which we were going to talk about. A lot of times when you have family history of hypertension, then it's there and it's going to be there. But if you're living healthy, if you're watching what you eat, you're exercising, like I said earlier, on the regularly, and not smoking, not drinking, and all of those things. Once you're doing your part, I believe you should be you'll be fine. Same thing with diabetes. Like some people can be on insulin and be on a lot of medications and then eventually go to not using insulin at all for diabetes, based on how they're living and how they're taking care of themselves. So, and I've seen people who do not care and do not listen, if they don't follow regimen and they don't exercise, they eat whatever, and they go from one stage to the other fast.
So,
So I think
yeah, but so what role does exercise play though? I mean, like this is something that I mean, somewhat genetic or whatever where it came from. But when you exercise, what does it do to the virus though?
so for the most part, when we talk about weight, I threw exercise in as a whole when it comes to living healthy with what you eat and all of that. So your weight, exercise helps to help you with your weight, and that will help other diseases like he named, like hypertension or diabetes or stroke. The weight plays a huge role, and if we're eating anything that has a whole lot of cholesterol, that can affect us as well, because we're building a lot of plaque and clot. We can get clogged artery, and that would be a problem even for blood pressure
All right.
and for
So,
stroke. Because if you have a clogged artery and
no. You were talking about another thing you spoke of. What you talked about how it can be transmitted through needles and through blood and stuff of that nature, and you say it can be inherited. So, I mean that is alarming.
well,
It can
no,
be
the only thing that's inherited, I was saying things like hypertension when he came with the other illness, but not, well, HIV, the only, a mother can give it to the child. If she has it and she's not getting treatment, she can pass it on to her unborn, child, or even when she's breastfeeding, she can give it to her baby.
okay. So it passes through the blood to the child.
If
Okay.
she's pregnant through the placenta.
Okay. All right. So, but can somebody also contract it through kissing, their partner?
No,
It's a saliva exchange and those things. Okay, cool,
no.
excellent. All right, so that's fine. Patrick, we have been on the topic of HIV and AIDS. But there was a report that came out in Liberia on Verity newspaper, right? They published a story about HIV and AIDS, and it said 34,000 people are living with HIV and AIDS in Liberia. And then they broke it down from county to county. So let me just read a little bit of what they reported. Whether it's true or not, that's another thing. But they say according to UNHI, let's see, the guy kept going back and forth. All right. So they're talking about UN organization here. They reported that it said 21,600 infected HIV persons are found in Monserrate County. Just Monserrate alone is 21,600, and they got 2,600 in Nema County. They got that's 1,600 in Maryland County. They got 1,400 in Grand Bassa County, 1,100 in Bond County, 1,000 in Lofa County, 1,000 in Grand Jada County, 500 in Grand Kilman County, and they got 300 in Riverside. And then your county, Sinoe, is 400. So it goes on. So, I mean, these numbers, let me see what I can bring the guy back. Patrick, you good? Yeah, so for these numbers are alarming, given the fragility of the healthcare system in our country. I mean, if I just want to share whether you got some thoughts on it, you can share, and then we can go to the next thing.
Yeah, the numbers are alarming, and that's why I think awareness and educating people on the disease and how they will contract it, so they know maybe to protect themselves through intercourse, or not to use shared needles. Those people that are doing drugs, I mean, that's another whole thing. Um, and even to get tested and get treated, because if we have organizations, they're providing medications now, like we talk about one person passing it on to the next, and medications prevent that. So the early people get, so I think the awareness need to get out in our country, because country like Africa is like taboo. People don't want to talk about it, but people need to talk about it, and the awareness need to be out for people to get tested and get treated. um because there are ways to help people not spread the disease, even if one person has it, and that's just my take on it. I've heard about it being so prevalent in Liberia, in Africa as a whole, even Sierra Leone, other places. And I've seen people here, like Liberian people, African people in the United States, come from Africa and go to do testing and find out, they have it. People even that just, came to the United States, they already have it from coming from back home. So we just, the awareness needs to be there. That's what I would say to that.
All right, Patrick, go ahead so we can go to the next thing.
Yeah. So let me chip in this question. So the whole issue of HIV treatment, diagnosis, and everything borders on confidentiality. I mean, the patient's privacy and protection. I mean, these things matter. But then, how is it that doctors and practitioners would, come up with statistics, and, that certain people have this disease, yet they are not known as per medical protocol. The information is protected, and there is no information about them, for example. But then we see an increase, I mean, exponentially, in a number of cases coming every day. Do you think, I mean, something's wrong somewhere about these statistics that come up and who knows who is who, for example? And people sometimes do not even live by the rules, and abstinence, protection, and extra precautions. What do you think is happening really with this, information and statistics?
So when they do statistics, or when they do a study, they're not calling people names and people date of births when it comes to confidentiality. So they do the best to just make it generalized. Like, they are not specific, because we don't want people, and that's the reason why I'm glad you brought that up, because that is the reason why a lot of people don't even go to the clinics, especially for Africa or for Liberia. Now, in the United States, they do the best. We have the HIPAA rule that prevents people information from going out there from providers or healthcare workers, talking about patients and their diseases and what they're going through. Now, back home, it's a whole different story, and that's what prevents a lot of our people from coming out to even get tested, because the health practitioner are going to be talking about it, or the next neighbor, everybody in the yard is going to know about it, and so people shy away from that. And that's why practitioner needs to also be trained. I think there should be a training for them to be able to handle these with care, without, to be discreet about people information, so they're not shying away from life-saving treatments. They're not shying away from treatments that would prevent the spread of the disease. So I hope I answer. Was I
So,
clear or not?
Patrick, what I will do instead of struggling, I'll be putting you on mute. When you're ready, just show your finger if you want to say something, then I'll unmute you instead of going back and forth. You just touch it on your side, so I can do it no more. So unmute yourself. Yeah, you frozen there. So Porleah, when you guys are talking about confidentiality and all of that, is it fair to the public though to conceal somebody who has a deadly virus? Is it fair to the public?
So I wouldn't So and that's the reason why we encourage patients to tell their partners, people that they're going to be engaging in certain activities with. But other than their partners, I don't think that information will be useful for John. If John is not going to be intimate with Mary, why should she tell John that, oh, I have HIV and AIDS? I mean, if she's going to be intimate with John, she could tell him and say, oh yes, I have this. And I want to say, and we have to encourage patients to do that. We always encourage patients to tell their partners, and sometimes we encourage them to bring partners in to the office to have this conversation, because if you tell your partner at home, you don't know their reaction. Like they're going to, oh my God, go wild. So it's a good idea. So we do in the past have patients bring in their partner and let the provider, the professionals explain it to this partner that yes, your wife or your husband may have this, but this is not like a death sentence. They're on this medication, they're being treated, and you can also get on this medication to be treated as well. So, and telling people that you're going to be intimate with, even, I mean, you have to do that. We encourage people to do that, but to just tell the random public, like, who have no business with yeah, that's not fair too, because
Yeah,
they don't
I
need to
follow
know.
you. I follow you, but I just saying because for public health, right? Public health safety, because these people they are absorbed into the population. So, say to put in my librarian where you saw they find you, you want me to move now, and I mean, some people will not be honest. I mean, some are we out of market now. Just saying for those that are still, Casanovas around there, Pastor is still struggling to come on here. Yeah, so I just playing the devil's advocate here. So this person is in the, I mean, bunch of them they are in the population and they got all these, but on the basis of confidentiality, so don't tell the public. I just think it's not fair to the public. It's not. Yeah, but now Porleah will be on the subject for a minute, and let's go to a stroke because I don't want to, you have limited time with us, so I don't want to keep you too long. So let's talk about stroke, and then we'll talk about the last talking points here, diabetes, and then we hypertension. If we can call it a day for you.
Okay, so stroke, as the next topic we're going to go on. This is when there is we call it cerebrovascular accident. So when you have accident going on in the brain. So now the causes of stroke, they do have ischemic stroke, and ischemic stroke is a blockage where when you have some blocking going on in your brain. And then we have hemorrhagic or maybe bleeding stroke where there's a lot of bleed going on. So things that will lead to stroke would be if you have part of the brain supply blocked, maybe by plaques or some plaques in your artery. If it's black, it can stop oxygen from going to the brain. And then if it stops oxygen from going to the brain, you can have a stroke. And that can happen in minutes. All right. And sometimes it can be blood clots. Like blood clots can cause those blockage in there. And blood clots can travel from any parts of the body, sometimes travel from the heart, from different parts of the body, and go and cause a blockage in your artery in your brain. And once that happens and oxygen is not flowing to your brain, you can end up with a stroke. And there's another form of stroke, like the bleeding stroke in a simple way, hemorrhagic stroke, but we'll say bleeding stroke can also happen where there's a breakage in the blood vessel and cause bleeding in your brain. So those are two things that's the two type of stroke. The main one is the ischemic one that will cause blockage to the arteries from maybe blood clots or some other debris or other things that's coming from the rest of your body. Now, when people are having stroke, some of the signs and symptoms, they will have trouble speaking. And some people wouldn't even be able to speak at all. And other people, their speech would be so slur, or I should say slow, than usual, right?
Yeah.
So when people, and there would be symptoms would be numbness, weakness, paralysis on one side. Sometimes it even affects the eyes, like people have trouble seeing in either one or both eyes. Um, Other times it affects walking, so they will have some weakness either on one side, or and it is be hard for them to walk. The balance will be off, and all of these things will be going on with them. So when you see, so the thing here is, what I want people to know is, when you see the signs, like, this person that they speak fluently, and out of a sudden, and it happens suddenly. So that's the thing. Out of a sudden, you see this person, maybe they're trying to say some words and they can't even say it, or you see they're complaining of weakness, and sometimes they face there's some paralysis, like they will have a drooping, we call it, but that will be in Liberia, they will say, oh, that person more twist or something. And those are signs, and especially if it's happening abruptly. So you will be able to tell if they're complaining of weakness, like, oh, all of a sudden I'm trying to get up to walk, but I can't walk, and they're falling when they try to walk. They can't, their balance is off. You know that this person is probably having stroke, and maybe they need to seek medical attention immediately. Now, I'm not sure in Liberia, or because this, for the purpose of this podcast, the focus is on people in Liberia. Now, here you can say, if you notice that, you call 911 for the person immediately so they can go and seek medical treatment. But for Liberia, it's a whole different thing. Like some of the places in Sinoe, I don't think they have 911 to get people to the hospital and all of these things. So here, if they go to the hospital, they can give them some medication to bust the clots or what that's going on in their brain, or they can give them some medication to stop the bleeding and stuff like that. But in Africa now, like I said, it's kind of tough to go there. But what I want us to take from here is mainly prevention, right? And for this one, it's going to be strictly lifestyle. Like we talked about lifestyle changes earlier, and this will be another teaching on lifestyle. So refraining from smoking, right? Cigarettes, controlling your blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, if you've been diagnosed with it, make sure you're taking your medicine, and make sure you're not eating a lot of sodium, and you're not drinking a lot of alcohol, and you're working on your diet too, because that will cause, when you have a lot of cholesterol, that can create a lot of plaque, a lot of clots in your system, and that can cause problem for your brain, right? So
Right.
you need to work on your diet, your exercise, watching what you eat, no smoking, and exercising to be able to prevent stroke. And I understand back home, everything that's happening to people, any illness, we're always attributing it to witch or something. And so that's why I just want to say, give the signs and symptoms so people know what they're having. Because somebody would say, oh, I just saw Mary just now. She was talking all right. She was walking. As soon as they gave her that water to drink, that only gave Mary that water. Soon she left from there, she can't walk again. She get her to walk, she falling, or she can't even talk. These people are so wicked and blah blah blah, and we go on. So I just want my people to know that these things can happen. And even to some of the people who do the best with their health, some people still end up, with the kind of thing. So, but we can just do our part, right, and take care of ourselves so we can prevent some of this. And when we see it happening, so we can be able to take action, do our best to get them to the nearest clinic or a hospital and not say, oh, somebody wish them and keep them in the house. And because when it comes to things that stroke is time sensitive, like a person needs to get to the hospital as soon as possible to get treated. So you can't say somebody wish them and you'll keep them in the house and say, oh yeah, and that's they're not going to recover. So that's part of the reason for these conversations, for us to be aware of some signs and symptoms and act quickly when we see them happen, and to work on preventing some of these.
All right. Well said. Well, so you spoke. You said, for example, some of the signs would be trouble speaking and walking and comprehension and different things, right? So, say for example, if somebody has stroke and they have problems speaking, can they recover like fully to be normal again?
Yeah, they can. Well, then it depends on the severity, right? So if they get treatment quickly, they're able to recover most of their tasks, and that's when people go to rehab. And some of them do speech therapy, some of them would do physical therapy to walk and all of these things. So it depends on the severity. Now we have TIA is just a transient stroke. We call it transient ischemic stroke. That happens very quickly, like briefly, maybe with like a minute, and the symptoms typically goes away after that. But the more severe stroke, like the ischemic one and the hemorrhagic stroke, and if this person doesn't get treatment so quickly, it can be hard for them to regain everything fully. But it's time sensitive. The sooner they get to a treatment for them to either, if it's a blackish there, for them to break the clots and stuff, or if it's a bleeding, for them to stop it as soon as possible, then people can be able to recover.
Okay, so maybe you may have said it, I missed it. What are some of the risk factors?
Oh yeah, okay. So some of the risk factors, it's pretty much like the same things that lifestyle risk factor would be being overweight, not having a lot of physical activity, not in the physical inactivity would be that. Heavy bench strength would be that. Using drugs, smoking, and some medical risk factors would be when a person have hypertension and they have high cholesterol. It can put them at risk for strokes, even when they have diabetes, things like that, because things like diabetes affects your arteries. Like it puts a lot of strain on your arteries, and that's why you have some people have problem with the eyes and the kidneys and different things. So those are, you have the lifestyle risk factors and you have the medical risk factors.
Okay, Patrick, go ahead. Your internet is battering. You've been fighting for a minute. Go ahead. Yeah, he's off again. Yeah, he's been going back and forth. We trying to join us, but then yeah, the rescue internet is not too reliable over there. Yeah.
No, he out again.
All right. So Porleah, yeah, we are running out of time here. So if you let me just bring out the next one here. So our next two things that you want to explain to us, but the diabetes and hypertension.
Okay, well, we will dive into. I didn't quite do a lot of research and study on the diabetes part, but we'll do the hypertension part.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah.
But so hypertension, pretty much, we're gonna go over. Let me just refer to my notes a little bit. It affects the arteries. So hypertension is when your arteries get narrow, and when you have a lot of blood pouring from the heart and in a narrow artery, and there's a lot of blood is pushing against it, it can cause your blood pressure to be too high, because now the heart has to work harder to pump the blood, and so that's what makes the blood pressure high. And like I was saying before, if you are not caring for yourself again, and your artery, your cholesterol is high, and all of those things, and your artery is narrow, right? And there is not enough space. So if you see there's a narrow road and you have all these things to come past through and not enough space, it will have to force its way through. And the action of it forcing its way through will cause your blood pressure to be high. So typically, a high blood pressure is defined right now as 130/80. A lot of colleges they have slightly different definitions for for normal, they got stage 1, stage 2, and we're talking about the College of Cardiology and the American Heart Association. They divide the blood pressure like into different categories. But for the most part, when you see your blood pressure, your top number, so we have the systolic, it's the top number, and we have your diastolic, that's the number on the bottom. Now, I am not sure. I mean, I'm just going to show this little picture here. So when people, this is writing. So, okay. We're gonna go. So I don't know if you're to the 130/80.
Yeah, 130/80, yeah.
So the top number. So when you're doing your blood pressure, the top number will be if it's up to 129 and hitting 130, you start to be concerned. Right? The bottom number normal should be 80. If you hit 90 and above, then you should be concerned. So what we do is we encourage people initially, if you're like 130/80, to start lifestyle modification. So if you're doing the things that we have named over and over, if you're a smoker or you're eating unhealthy or you're drinking a lot of alcohol and all those things, it's time for you to cut down on those things when your blood pressure reaches to that stage. Now, some people, they're able to like bring their blood pressure down to a normal range by just lifestyle changes, but other people are not. So if you're not, and then you're going into the 140/180 range and you're going up there, then it's time for you to start getting some medication.
Okay, so Porleah, well said. I think we got a caller here that has a question. So Tote, go ahead. What's your question? Or introduce yourself and shoot your question. Tote, are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, to Patrick, to my best friend. That I'm very, very happy, and I providing educations for some of the things that she elaborated on. Some of us who are not know it, but I get to know a lot of things now from us. But I want to tell her thank you. My question is that she is talking about people in Liberia, but there are a lot of people, especially people live in the Western country, sometimes people living healthy life, and you go here that they get through. How can healthy person that living a healthy life live in places that America can prevent stroke?
All right, you got a question?
Oh, I didn't get the question. How can healthy people?
So he said, there are people that live. I mean, you're talking about lifestyle changing and those things. Some people can live normal. They watch their diet, they do their exercise, but yet still they can have stroke and those things. What is the cause?
And like I said, so for stroke, sometimes it's blood clots, and blood clots can happen even if you're doing the best you can with your diet. But we just educate for people to, but it's not that often. That would be like for a person who takes very good care of themselves to have stroke it's not impossible, but it's not something that happen a lot. So most of the majority of the population that we see come down with the illnesses are people who are not doing the work, who are not taking care of themselves. And I will say, maybe if you pray, if you do everything, you watch your diet, you do whatever you can do, and you just have to pray that you're okay. But for the most part, it usually mostly affects people who do not have a sanitary lifestyle, who just do, they're not exercising, they eat anything, they do whatever.
So, but so speaking of diet, though, what would be the appropriate food to consume?
So the appropriate diet will pretty much be make sure you're having fruits and vegetable in there. You just have to have a balanced diet, honestly. So you can have carbs. You can with the body. We need some fat, but just not overdo it. Just not sit down and eat a whole thing of, for us in the United States, a whole thing of pizza, or and for back home, those people, the palm butter, we have to watch that. Like, we shouldn't be eating that every day. I love palm butter and I eat it sometimes, but the oil in there is, it has a lot of fat in it. And some of those palm nuts, when you cook it and you set it down, you see how it, when it gets cold for a while, how the oil, how it gets
Yeah.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah, it coagulates. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for the term. Now that's what that's what's happening to the fat and the cholesterol in our arteries if we're eating a lot of those things. So we can limit what we're eating when it comes to that for people back home. My people back home, we eat healthy. Yeah, I think we eat more healthy than in the Western world, I would say, for the most part.
So
I
Porleah,
think.
let me get our guest off the phone. Tota, you have another question before I let you go?
Yeah, based on our explanations, I want to know because in stroke and heart attacks are intertwined.
So you're asking what a stroke and heart attack, are they intertwined?
They are. Because heart attack. So when you're diet, when you have plaques and stuff in your artery, when you have cholesterol, those cholesterol can build up in your arteries and they can cause blockage. And some of those plaques can travel. They do travel sometimes from your heart to other parts of your body, and they can travel to your brain. Sometimes you have blood clots, they travel from your leg, different places, and they can end up in your brain too. So heart attack and stroke, they are connected. So if you're having a heart healthy diet, and we like to preach that low sodium, not too many cholesterol and all those things, it can help to prevent stroke as well as heart attack.
Okay, so there are some medical jargons you use sometimes. So I like so when you say plaque, is that fat? What is that?
It just gets it just hard. Sometimes it hardening the artery, it just makes it hard, or it gets some blockages. It's just the I don't know the layman name of how to describe it, but you just get some debris or some stuff blocking your artery there, and causing it to get narrower, so there's not enough room in there. And
I
sometimes
see.
they have to go in there to break those things up.
Okay, okay. All right. So yeah, I think that's that. That is it hypertension we are talking about right now? Or is that
So
true?
yeah, we were on hypertension. Yep.
Okay.
So my thing is, for people over 18, the guidelines is, or the recommendation is, to check your blood pressure maybe every 2 years if you're over 18. However, if you're over 18 and you have high risk, meaning you're overweight, or you have a family history of hypertension, or you're smoking, you're drinking water, all those different things, then you want to check your blood pressure. Try to check it at least once a year. Now, if you're diagnosed, if you went to a clinic and they check your blood pressure the first time and it was high, and they check it the second time and it was high, and they put you on some kind of medication, then it's a good idea to check it every single day, every morning, first thing in the morning. And even for people here, honestly, it's shocking that people have high blood pressure and they don't check the blood pressure on the daily. You should check it every day. And some people say, oh, and they don't take the medicine. And that's the thing. You should take it every day. And that's why even people in the United States, so anybody too in the United States, if you have high blood pressure, it is a good idea for you to take your medication. That's first thing. People tell me they forgot to take the medication all the time. And I'm, I'm wild by that. like how you have high blood pressure and you are forgetting to take your medicine. So now that's one thing to remind people to always take your medication, and check your blood pressure first thing in the morning. Make sure your 2 feet is like on the floor, and then your arm is like at your heart level, and you get one of those blood pressure cuff that they sell them in Rite Aid, CVS, all these drugstores, and you check your blood pressure. You check your blood pressure daily. So if it's high, that way you'll know. Because if you're going to a doctor or to even your primary care, we want a trend. We want to see a trend of how your blood pressure has been doing. Because sometimes some people, honestly, some people will go to a clinic, they check their blood pressure at home and it's fine. And they go to a clinic and the blood pressure is high. And we tell them the blood pressure is high, and they say, but I've been checking it at home. We go by your trend from checking it at home, because some people get nervous when they go to the clinic. We call it the white coat syndrome, and go to the clinic, and because they're nervous about, oh, maybe something's wrong, and then you check the blood pressure and it's super high. So it's a good idea to check your blood pressure on the daily. It helps providers to make the right decision, based on the trend of your blood pressure at home. And the other thing I want to also add to is that make sure we are getting a lot of rest. I know in America it's hard to get rest, but stress and all can cause some illnesses and put your pressure up. So let's work on that. And yeah, pretty much.
That's a good stuff there, Pali. That's real good stuff. So with all the knowledge, Porleah, do you have any plan for our people in Sinoe County? I mean, at least to give back. Sinoe they give birth to a daughter who is medically savvy. Do you have a plan for Sinoe County?
Honestly, nothing in the works in the near future, in the next year or so, but it will be maybe in the next few years, because honestly, it would be a good idea for people physically there, and having these health seminars or health affairs where people come in and you're educating them what to do hands on. If you're there, I mean, they tend to listen, and so that will be something in the works. Maybe not in the next year or two, but we'll think about that.
Okay, yeah. Please put us on the agenda. Like I've seen some Nigerians video. I can be watching the Nigerians. They carry these different medical. They build like clinics around, and they hire people. They educate people. So with all the knowledge, you transfer that to Sinoe. Get some of the children trained, so that they can propagate the message. That would be excellent.
It's true. Yeah, training the medical staff is one of the is key. Because we sit here and we talk about it, but if you don't have those people that are going to be dealing with it, like what the gentleman was saying about the confidentiality, and if the medical staff are not trained on how to deal with people and the ailments, then it can deter people from even wanting to go to the clinic and say, oh, we go over there, they're going to be laughing at us, or they're going to be just the professionalism. And so that's a good idea. People, the providers or the health workers, they need to be trained.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Ghana, this guy died, Porleah, and when I came here, I did the CPR training, right? I was like, when I talk about that guy's situation, I was like, all the guy needed was CPR. He would have lived, right? But everybody just standing there and crying, Yes. So like basic stuff like that, CPR training, first aid training, different things. If you can get some of those children in Pine Town, Jetty Town, and Judo Town, Bubadi together, so they can. I got a girl on the show here, Sarah. I think she's in the health field. She just texted me that her phone was somewhere else. I wish you were here today. But that's somebody that you can. She's a journalist in Sinoe as well, but she says she's going to school and she's in the health area. So I wish I mean, I'll try to get in contact with you.
Yeah. So we can, yeah, I'm glad you have somebody like that because who is willing and out here and seeing how and hearing from how things are going on here. That way she can take that back home and do the best she can. I know sometimes it's hard when people are setting their ways back home to, change them or to at least try to bring different, ideas or rules. But I mean, we can always just try.
Yeah, I think she tried to get a program. I think women issue all the time. So I mean, that's something she wants to do. To I mean, she already on the radio anyway. So that would be a good thing to spread
Yeah.
spread the information out there. But Pauline, that was a wonderful time having you back on the show, and the platform is yours. You still we say want a co-host is always a co-host, right? So I mean, you can always come back and take your seat if you want to. I mean, the platform is here, establish it for us to bring people that you know with the knowledge to share with the people. Because I think
Mhm.
what I believe is knowledge is nothing when it is not used, right?
Absolutely.
So it has to be applied, it has to make an impact on somebody, and that's what I think education is. But if you just have it and enjoy yourself, and there are other people around you that are not getting some from you, then it becomes so problematic. So yeah, I want to say thank you so much for sharing the knowledge with us today. Pro bono, we not pay anything. I hope for the people will utilize it, apply the tips that you give. If you have closing thoughts, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so all in all, and the one thing I didn't mention, like even caffeine, drinking coffee, when it comes to your high blood pressure, hypertension, you want to limit that if you can. But all in all, what I want to say in general here is, especially for our folks in Liberia, is prevention, and anywhere, but for the matter of fact, not just Liberia, but even here in the United States, prevention. Our people say prevention is better than cure, and it's true. Every, when it costs less to prevent illnesses than it will cost us to try to fix it. And a lot of times, if it gets to a certain stage, it's hard to fix. So the big takeaway I want for us to get from here, I know sometimes it can be hard, trust me, but for us to work on preventing um, the illnesses, working on our lifestyles, using protection when it comes to sexual intercourse, getting tested when it comes to HIV and AIDS, so you can get the appropriate medication and exercise and dieting and all of that plays a role. And easy, I know it's not easy because myself I struggle, but we all have to do the best we can to just live a healthy, longer life. So
Everybody, thank you so much. I mean, before you go though, my last Tony just pop up in my head. I know you talk about palm butter a little bit. We eat a lot of rice too. Is that advisable to keep eating, or you cut down the rice too?
to cut down the rice because the rice have a lot of carbs in it, and especially for those people that are diabetic or have diabetes, they want to cut down on the rice. They have a lot of things now. They have the brown rice and different things that you can substitute them with. And for some of us, it's very hard for us to not eat rice, especially like rice, cassava, those kind of things have a lot of carbs in them. And again, for us back home, those are the food that we have. So it's very hard to tell somebody in Sino, say, don't eat rice, or cassava or your dumbo or something. It's very hard to tell them that. But if you're a diabetic, you have fish and things there. You can eat more protein, get into, less of the carbs. Plantain has carb in it too, but it's not as, much as the rice and the cassava and that kind of thing. So we just have to do the best we can.
Okay. So I mean, right now, Paulia know whole son of man and me. my wife can be measuring my rice right now. You know.
Your wife, because I have it about what?
Yeah, she can. I mean, she will put a rice in a measure, literally measure. Yeah, like, lady, come on. She said, we got to change your lifestyle, like the word using. Yeah. So
in
right now,
moderation.
yeah. So I mean, now you're talking about this. I have to intensify my cardio. I have to do more running, and stuff like that. I work on that. But the rice that the woman getting me hotter. I love my
but you
broken
gotta.
rice.
The woman is
I like
right.
the broken white rice. But right now she give me what is basmati or whatever rice, the brown. I said, what gonna be there? So
she's right, and thank God you
yeah, she
got
good.
she's in the field, so she knows.
Right.
She's here every day, so you're blessed.
Yeah. Yes. That's the word. That's the word.
You have your
So
own personal nurse there to be guiding the way, so that's a good thing.
I can get vexed on that. I say, no, I'll rebel, but that is my health, so I can't rebel. And she will give me time, certain time of the night I should not eat, but I'm hungry. She said, brother, you gotta hold it. That's why you gotta eat certain time. Once it reaches this time, no more eating, because you'll be stationary, you'll be lying down, you're not moving,
Right.
So like, oh my
And your
God.
food not taking time to
Yeah,
digest.
in my next life, I'll bring somebody who is not medically savvy, will just eat everything.
like I'm watching this. I watched this video on TikTok, and the
Yeah.
guy said, "Don't." The nurses are not romantic at all. Like you are with them, and they're looking in your eyes, and you think they're looking at, they're being romantic, and they tell you, "Say, but how your eyes look yellow? What happened to this?" And they're finding all the problems. They said, you might be jaundice. Your eyes look yellow. We gotta go check that out.
Right.
So that's the thing. But we mean well.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys, lifesaver. Yeah. But Porleah, thank you so much for the time. We really, really appreciate you. I think they will help. The thing about people, when I apply what we're making today, they will be sharing the thing all over the place, right?
Right.
Yeah, we are a very strange set of people, but thank you so much. This knowledge is indispensable, I would say.
It was my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
All right.
Always.
All right. All right, guys, that is our wonderful guest there. Sorry, guys, I try to monitor before I scream in your ears. All right, guys, I want to say thank you for following the show. I will read your comments, and I'll read your comments, and if we have anything, or like my guys are not here, our max time here is 2 hours, so we did good. So I'll just look at your comments, and I want to encourage you as well. We'll bring these people. I want to say thank you to Tote, those that don't have the time to call in. You can just write your question. We'll read it out to the guests. I know you have some thoughts on things. You don't have to necessarily ask a question. You can make a statement, and then the person can opine on that. So let me see some of the comments here that are following. My name is Pastor Mana said, I'm open, my brother. Thanks for the show. Want to say thank you as well. Looking good, my husband. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. Nobody, the boys, when I press me again, I'm good. I got my biggest supporter. All looking beautiful, my NP. All right, the National Police. All right, that's nurse practitioner. Mr. Sabe, thank you. The distinguished healthcare professional. Thank you, Mr. Sabe, for following the show today. Mr. James Panto, thanks for following the show. The national president of the USAA, Madam Frances Clark Samley knows. We can say Frances Clark Myers nowadays. It's Frances Samley Clark. Frances Samley Clark. The Myers, we'll discuss that one after the show. What the Meyer is, Dax, how you put there? Esoteric, I'm happy you are out of the market. Totally, I'm out, baby. Nothing in the market. I went there, I did it. I shopping already, I get it best. So I'll go shopping again. You don't need nothing out there. What I got is the best. Very good and interesting topic for the day. Our NP Porleah, thank you. Then Sheila Abdel, that's the first lady. All right, guys, we want to say thank you. My co-hosts, the other guys, they are struggling. The internet, the rescue internet service in Liberia is not too reliable, you know. But like I was saying before, our guest got on here, the development for Sinoe County, or the portion of Sinoe County with respect to the Sapo community in Liberia. The presidential election is scheduled for December. You know, the president rescheduled, even though he won. It's the first time in the history, presidential history, I should say, where somebody won an election, and because of other people agitation, you see, you know what, I will settle another one to test my strength again and see what you guys can do. And Mr. George Gatti is very confident, you know, he can beat whoever the people will bring against him. He's very positive. So let's see how the election will play out. Yeah, but Mr. George Gatti is a good guy. He I mean, he just recently got a master's degree from the University of Liberia. He's doing everything to help the community by educating himself. You know, that's part of leadership, because a leader should be somebody who loves to learn. You know, you have to be, they say a leader must be a teacher. And so in order to be a teacher, you must also be educated. You should know your materials. You have some stuff on your way, because there are people that will follow you. They will be asking questions. And also when they ask you questions, you the leader start scratching your head, and that's a problem right there. You know, so Mr. Gatti, which I could get in contact with him. Let me see when I'll give you a shot here. Yeah, and see whether he'll pick up the phone and give us some little feedback on the upcoming election. Let me see whether he'll pick up. Yeah, that's what we do here on our election. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see whether you pick up. I tried to get in contact with him yesterday, but let's see whether you pick up. Let's see whether he pick up. If he doesn't, then yeah, we'll just try to get his I mean, wrote the communication already, but yeah, it seems to be he's busy. Yeah, I called him yesterday. He said you're gonna get back to me, and he did not, so I just want to do a follow-up. Yeah, but guys, this is how we're doing it today for the show. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We are here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. GMT, or if you like Liberian time. You know, be here with us, and so we can talk issues, trending development. Today is non-political day. I mean, a lot going on in the world of politics. Our president came here at the United Nations, you know, General Assembly, gave his speech. You know, is that whole, I mean, periodic, you know, jamboree, what the people gather and make speeches, and the world remains as is. You know, the people in Gaza are still being bombed. You know, now Lebanon, Israel is also now bombing Lebanon. You know, they're giving all these different speeches. You know, so that's why it is. You know, that's the world we live now. You know, if you have the military and the economic power, you can do anything. All right, so that's it for the day. I want to say thank you so much for following Sinoe County Premier Platform. For all of you, those who are following for YouTube, we're not seeing your name, but we want to say thank you. And those who are following for you or Facebook, we want to say thank you so much for another wonderful show. And I see you next Thursday. Thanks for watching. We are out.
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
FSN.
Download your favorite song at originalhits.com.
Our people say